The Menopause Dialogue. Hashtag you and me. Sharing, living, loving freely.
Are you a mature woman? Do you think you could be perimenopausal and experiencing so many changes on your period, like longer cycles, heavier bleeding, vaginal dryness, and even a strange odor at times? Well, we're asking you to make the switch and experience the difference with our 100% organic sanitary napkins with ultra soft cotton surfaces that is toxic free, fragrance free, bleach free, and eliminate odors. Experience your period in a whole new all natural comfort. So if you are a mature woman and could be starting perimenopause, make the switch and your body will thank you. Period.
Hi, I'm Patrice.
Hi, I'm Shay, and welcome to
Menopause the Dialogue.
So we have a year-long dialogue where we embark on the menopausal journey of a woman from start to finish. And this show really is all about helping you to empower you, to educate you, and also to provide the tools to help you to take charge of your menopausal experience.
Each Monday in fact, every other Monday within each month, the second and the fourth, we are going to be live streaming at 6 p.m. where we are going to be sharing and talking to you about the menopausal journey. Ladies, this journey is not always an easy one. And so our goal is to join hands with you and other women. And let's be a support. Share the link. That's important, Shay.
Yeah, and our hashtag is
Sisters Share.
Patrice, today is International Women's Day.
Isn't that something?
Yes, and it ties in so well with what we're doing with Menopause the Dialogue, because this is an important dialogue that we're having.
Yes.
And it really helps women to really connect everything that they're experiencing when it comes to menopause. And so I love the fact today we get to celebrate International
Women's Day.
Yes.
And it also ties in with, just like you said, with what we're doing. Women connecting, women bonding, women sharing. And March 8th around the world, every day, is where women are recognized for their trailblazing attributes, for their making waves in politics, in every aspect of life. We are saluting women who are making a difference and taking the challenge to stand up.
I like the fact that this Women's Day also helps us to connect women of history as a part of drawing us into today, really, and connecting women all around the world. And so this is really significant for us as women.
Yes.
And as we start this journey and continuing to share. You know, Patrice, you know, when we started, just the beginning of this year, you know, when I think back about my why and the reason for starting, it really started with my mom, you know, and watching her go through the journey of menopause. And so for me, it was so important to be able to share that experience, to be able to talk to women. And I know today is really an exciting day because we're really going to use this opportunity to talk about, you know, the not so common symptoms that women will experience when it comes to menopause.
Yes, we are. And you know, Shay, I want to take a moment to celebrate the swearing in of Mrs. Prakisha Parker Edgecombe here in the Bahamas.
Yes.
We celebrate you, Prakisha, Minister of State, Ministry of Disaster and Preparedness, Management and Reconstruction.
Yeah, that's some long words. We celebrate
We salute you. And women, let's take a minute, wherever you are, to send her a note. Let her know that we have got her. We are supporting her. All over the women, all over the world now, we are seeing women prime ministers rise up.
Oh my goodness.
In Germany, the first chancellor of Germany. There's so many things going on. And why not? We women, God also gave us dominion. over in the earth.
Yes, I love that, Patrice. I like how you say God also gave us.
Yes, he spoke to us.
Yes.
Have dominion.
Yes, yes. So this journey for us is so important.
Yes.
I know, Patrice, at the beginning, I think it was in February sometime when we often connect, you started to share a little bit of what you was experiencing. And for me, right away, I was like, Patrice, you know what? We really need to talk about this on the show when we have our next show, because you know, we often think, when we think about menopause, we often think, you know, the traditional hot flashes, night sweats, you know, those traditional symptoms. And because, you know, Patrice and I, we were sharing it all the time, there are so many symptoms when it comes to menopause. But for Patrice and I particularly, what we want to talk about sometimes too is the symptoms that you may not necessarily experience that often, and you are thinking you're alone. You're thinking like, what the heck could this possibly be? And so it was so important for Patrice and I to do this show, especially coming back and on International Women's Day, to talk about these symptoms that, you know, they're just not considered ordinary symptoms.
Yes, and you know, when I had something strange happen to me the other day, and by design, I will not say by coincidence, Shay happened to have been there when it happened. And I'm going to take it out of the fishbowl.
Yeah, that's right.
We've been talking about our fishbowl, but our first fishbowl topic that we're going to talk about is what happened to me.
Yeah, wow.
Dizziness and imbalance. The other day, for the first time in my life, I kept on losing my balance, and I did not know what was going on. And like I said, Shay and I just happened to be together, and I started stumbling, losing my balance. And I didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah.
And it got worse. I was feeling nauseated, and I literally had to take time off because it seemed like it was getting out of control. One day I was on the phone to my daughter, and I bent down to pick up something. I had to catch myself from falling forward. I could not understand. Another day, it felt like I was falling sideways, and I could not figure out what was going on. And it was such a scary time for me. But thank God, God has Shay here for me. Shay's always having to tell me something.
Right? And you know, Patrice, I like when you say that, because it's so important, because what Patrice was experiencing was a real feeling. And when you're frightened from a symptom that you don't quite understand, the first thing you want to do is you just want to run into your doctor right away. You want to check your heart, you want to check your head, you want to check your life insurance.
Because it's not, am I going to die?
Right. You have all these questions going on in your head. And I think this is why, Patrice, no matter what, we have to continue this dialogue, because other women are experiencing this just like us. And if we have anyone out there listening and watching it, in the comment section, if you are experiencing this dizziness that Patrice and I are talking about right now, please put it in the comment section below and let us know, because we want you to know that you're not alone.
Yes.
And I can tell you, when Patrice said to me, she said, Shay, I got to go to the doctor today. I have to go. And then, you know, let me tell you, Patrice, in that moment, right, I said, okay, so should you say to Patrice, you had the same symptoms just less than, 6-7 months ago? And yes, I did.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, for me personally, one of the things I can tell you is God has been talking to me immediately and just giving me a sense of calmness when I start to experience a new symptom. And so I think he's doing that for the sure reason when another sister's experiencing it, I could kind of help them, you know.
Because the only reason why I didn't go to a doctor was because Shay assured me. Because the emotions are real.
Yes.
That you have to deal with. And again, once the body starts acting like it's out of control, it is not an easy space to be in.
Right.
And if you don't have a sister to say, hey, it's okay, I've
Right.
been there, millions of other women are experiencing the same thing,
Right.
you're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And that word of comfort helped me to understand that I was going to be okay. And you even helped me with some of the things you would do as well. I remember you saying you take the moment, you would stop and start your breathing
Right,
exercises.
breathing,
Oh, I was
yeah.
doing that.
You was just taking that moment. Let me tell you, when I started to feel the dizziness, and I think it was maybe day 2, and I immediately went back and I was like, oh my goodness, this is what my mom talked about. And because one of the symptoms my mom was experiencing was nausea, I didn't have that. So I was really trying to tie it in. And so I just went into my peaceful place, and the Spirit of God spoke to me and said, yeah, Shay, that's a part of that perimenopausal thing you're going through. And I was like, okay, God. So I'm going to just flow here. And so I literally decided to just start doing what I like to do. I like to ground. And grounding is just simply going out in nature and connecting your feet to the ground, whether it's on grass or the sound or the sand on the beach, and just continue to be quiet. Because I had that dizziness, from me, when I lied down, unless my eyes was closed, I felt a little bit even more dizzy. Yeah, so
that helped.
I certainly did. I certainly did recognize it right away. There was a moment, Patrice, when I thought, Shay, you need to go to the doctor. And let me just say this, as a disclaimer, we're not saying not to go to your doctor. That's not what we're saying. We're simply, Patrice and I, simply sharing our experiences. And what we can tell you is that a lot of women that are perimenopausal and menopause are feeling these same symptoms.
Exact
and they
same symptoms.
don't know what is happening, and they're not going, they don't know what is going on. And so we're simply saying to you that, hey, Patrice and I were experiencing some of these things, and that's why it's important for us to really share some of these symptoms that are outside of, hot flashes, all of that other stuff that's happening,
And one of the things that I then did was I wanted to do some research as to why am I experiencing this dizziness. And I took some notes because I found out there are about 5 things, reasons why perimenopausal and menopausal women have the dizziness. And it talks about the first one, and I'm going to talk from my notes because I literally took these notes. It says that hormones play an important role in balancing the blood sugar levels. And our hormones during menopause affect how the body responds to insulin.
Right.
And it talks about that the body keeps your blood sugar stable, and changes to the blood sugar level makes you dizzy.
Yeah.
That's one blood sugar. Then the other thing was the air. Now, my own, I've been able to locate was the middle air changes. Changes in the middle air. Hormones are known to affect the inner air, which is critical to securing our balance. And that was, I realized, when you get to put 2 and 2 together, you see some things. And so then that was another thing. Then I found out also fatigue. Women during menopause, because of fatigue, some of them deal with dizziness. And because of what the body's dealing with, the science shows that one of the effects is dizziness. And then I want to share another one that I have with the studies. There's another study that showed that changes in estrogen level can affect our cardiovascular and nervous system.
And that speaks to the heart palpitation.
The heart palpitation and the nervous system. So that
anxiety.
causes the dizziness in women. And honestly, I was surprised. And what I learned from this experience was that you never, until it's your time, that's when you sometimes go into treading into those waters to find out what's what. Because honestly, dizziness, I didn't know was a part of it until this, and I started digging.
Whenever you think about hormone fluctuations, when you're losing that estrogen and the progesterone is lowering in the body, that simply, if you just put it in layman's term, you're in the water and the water is moving. So once the water is moving, anything is likely to happen. So
yes, you know what was perfect for me, what Shay said? And Shay said the same hormones that are active during pregnancy that makes you feel nauseated is the same hormones you were dealing with. And I was able to make that connection because I understand during, what is the
Perimenopause?
No, the first stage that boys and girls go through. Adolescence. When we, no, the other word, there's the adolescent stage when they go into it, when their hormones, the boys' voice
start to change,
and the girls start to have
to it right now, and we just call it the gruff in the voice.
Puberty.
Yeah, there you go.
And girls start to have, breasts.
Right.
These hormones are preparing the body for reproduction. These same hormones are involved with having a child, and these same hormones are the ones responsible for the menopausal journey. And so it helps, like your information helped me make the connection. It's like, right, the same nauseated because I couldn't figure out, why?
What was happening? Patrice, I got to share this funny story with you, right? I was just talking to one of my female friends, and I was telling her, she started to describe, it was actually her and her husband, and she started to describe some of her symptoms. So immediately I said, Sherry, you think you should kind of tell her? I'm kind of, in that thin line wondering, should I say something to her? So I said, well, you could technically be going through perimenopause. And she said, girl, I rebuke that. Listen to me. All of her Bohemianese came out, and she was just ready to rebuke and pull down the strongholds. And I said to her, listen, I was there. I promise you I was there. Just like puberty, perimenopause and the decline of estrogen is a normal, let's say normal again, normal occurrence.
Don't be like
with
me.
Women and men. Should we say women and men again?
Yes.
Women and men. Yeah, our producer in the back there, she's shaking her head. She's like, make sure I say the men too. Yeah, because
andropause is real with them.
Exactly. And Patrice and I, we're going to continue to talk about this journey, and we're also going to include men as well. So men, don't think we forget about you guys, because this journey, the menopausal journey, the andropause journey, this experience affects the whole entire family. Because that husband and wife that was sharing with me, while I was talking to her, he was right there nodding his head like, yeah, that's how she be acting. But I also said to him, she's just not acting this way. This is all because she has a decline in her hormonal levels. And so what is happening with her is really real. But, I want to take this opportunity right now to say to sisters, listen, there's just no need to rebuke. I promise you. This is a natural occurrence. No need to rebuke and pull down. Say, no, I have nothing to do with this. What we are here to do is to give you the tools to empower and to educate you on how you can go through this and really take charge of your journey.
Set up in the body. Yes.
And Patrice and I, during this year-long journey, we're going to continue to share what we've done, some of our experiences to help you to connect and also to help you to be able to help yourself. And that's where the tools come in, because I can tell you, from me, grounding, and just really, let me tell you another thing that I do. I try not to, what I call, give energy to the symptom that I'm experiencing. So it's like, I know that it's there and I'm feeling it, but I don't give any energy to it. And what that looks like for me is I just do everything else. Like right now, let me just tell you, I got some heat in my back right now. Like right now. But you guys don't know that. Y'all see how pretty a diva looking right now? Check us out, check us out. But I got heat in my back.
So tell us about this. What is that like for you?
Patrice, let me tell you something. You know what it's like? I'm going to do layman's term right now. It's like taking a hot pan off the stove and just resting on your back. Yeah, it's real. Now, inflammation, which is a diagnosis that someone can have that's not necessarily directly related to menopause, but it looks exactly alike. And so when it comes to that heat in your back, you all hear old people talking about gala and heat or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I experience it in my back.
Wow.
And it sits there and it just waits, like it's on vacation, like it's at Lewis and Stain, having coffee. It's just sitting back there. And Patrice, I don't know. I can honestly say that God is helping me, that when I recognize what it is, I immediately say, okay, I'm not dying. I'm good. And so I just say, okay, you're there. You can handle yourself for a while, but in the meantime, I'm going to have myself a kale salad. Yeah, that's what I do. Yes. I talk to it, and then I don't give it any energy, and it works for me. And so I can tell you, I see women sometimes when they're experiencing it, they automatically get into a nervous and anxious place. That's the opposite of what you really want to do. You want to take deep breaths. When I was talking to Patrice the other day, when she started to experience the nausea and the dizziness, I said you need to take deep breaths. You need to just take a moment, and where you're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, it makes a difference on experiencing some of the symptoms. If you get frustrated, if you become anxious and even nervous, it's only going to exacerbate the feelings of the symptoms.
Because our body, truly, our bodies are going through changes.
Yeah, it is.
And it is a work for the body. And we don't need to exaggerate it anymore. When I started to have the dizziness and the nauseating feelings, you know what I did? I had to decide, you know what, I'm going to take a break from life.
Yeah.
I mostly work from home all the time, but that for about 3 to 4 days without anybody knowing. I just worked quietly. I slowed my pace down tremendously. I refused to move as fast as I normally do.
Right.
Because it was affecting me.
So you slowed it down.
Yeah, and my body needed it. And then I did some natural things. I took my chaga and gano, because one of the things I realized that has been happening with this is my blood pressure has raised.
Yeah.
And
I
I
see
feel
that
it.
there when you talk about your blood pressure being raised. I want to just stick a pin right there, because sometimes when the blood pressure becomes elevated like that, people will automatically think that they need to go on medication. Sometimes when you're going through perimenopause, because anxiety is one of those things that symptomatic to menopause and perimenopause, it can elevate your diastolic and systolic pressure. However, that is simply related to the diagnosis, not that you may have a pressure problem or issue. So sometimes you recognize it because the symptoms can look similar, but not that you all of a sudden have to go on pressure medication. Because I heard someone said the other day.
That I review.
Yeah, right. That's a good one to review. I heard someone said the other day, but since they started going through perimenopause, they go on a pressure medication. But that again is a lack of understanding and knowledge, because we can get excited and our emotions can be heightened, that sometimes can lead to elevated pressure levels. But what you do during that time is simply make sure you're checking it every morning. And if you see a consistency, by all means, go to your doctor, figure out what is happening, if anything is happening at all. Like for me, I get pressured when I go to the doctor. Like the minute I see,
a lot of people do that. Their pressure goes up when it's time to go to the doctor.
Sometimes when I take it, the nurse will say, "Do you have a pressure problem?" I say, "No, ma'am, I don't. I had kale for breakfast." But it's you in this white coat is the problem. So
you become nervous.
You become nervous. Yes. And so that nervous and that anxiety is a part of sometimes what we experience.
Yeah, and the body just dealing with what's happening.
Right, with what's happening. Yeah. And so listen, Zenobia's joining. Zenobia said hi. Patrice and Shay. Listen, hold on, I feel a heat in my back. Let me tell you something. We want to be so transparent and so real, because listen, this dialogue have been just taboo almost. People didn't want to talk about stuff that was happening. They didn't want to talk about the age change or the change of life, the crises. It's so real. There is no shame in menopause. There is no shame in it. And the more we talk about it, and I shared it on a couple of shows, I am so fanatical right now about talking about menopause, because had someone talked to me, had a sister shared, that's it, about the journey, and also had I been real, I will say I was one of those sisters who was like, that will never happen. Yeah, you was rebuking and pulling down. So let me put my disclaimer up, because then I would have pursued information. And so when it came, I wasn't ready. But women, let's talk about our experiences. Let's tell the younger women. Let's be our sisters' keepers, because it makes the grandest and greatest difference in our emotional state. Yes, that's important. That's important. As a matter of fact, Patrice, I had one of my clients I think she is in her mid-30s, and she said to me, I sent her the information about the show that we're doing, and she said, I don't need to watch that. I was like, yeah, you do. You know, it's almost like when you start, you know, you want to get married next year, and so all of the people in your environment says you need to start to do some counseling. We're like, no, we can wait till we have all kind of problems in our marriage.
Then we want.
And so what we're saying to you is, listen, this is the time, because even when Patrice and I talk about some of the symptoms, there is something that refers to onset, and that can happen for some women as early as their 30s, that you can start to experience the symptoms of menopause. So listen, this conversation is a conversation that you need to start to think about and to have even at the age of 30. So Patrice and I want to welcome you to this dialogue. Please don't think that this isn't a conversation you want to have. So we're going to take a break right now, and we'll be back with Menopause the Dialogue. More than 50% of mature adults living in the Bahamas and the Caribbean show visible signs of photoaging due to sun exposure. Nowadays, in addition to the sun, there are other factors that can contribute to old-looking skin, such as bad Bahamian average diet, constant stress, excessive alcohol consumption, not enough sleep, and yes, even smoking. If you truly want to look significantly younger and more attractive, one must take a holistic approach along with a daily skincare restorative routine. With that said, do you want amazing, super soft, tight-looking skin, revitalizing your uneven skin tone and dull complexion? Well, this already liked superfood now has a new look for inside and outside. It's Sea Moss Gel. So whether you're a mature woman or man, say hello to your skin's new best friend. Glowing Skin Sea Moss Gel Facial Mask. Available now.
Do you know what you are putting on your skin? 93% of wrinkle creams and body lotions contain dangerous ingredients. Some cause more damage than good. Many skincare ingredients can actually cause more wrinkles on your face and body. Look at your labels. Can't pronounce the ingredients? Join the club. More than 85 of the most common skincare ingredients in North America are either banned or on the blacklist in Europe. Ever wonder why some European brands are so much more expensive? Many of them use natural ingredients instead of cheap chemicals. Ingredients that feed your skin instead of aging your skin. There is one brand that has gained attention because it uses a centuries-old blend. A blend that has been used since the time of Cleopatra. A Mediterranean blend used to keep her face and body looking much younger and beautiful. The same time-tested blend is now available to you. It's called Pure Garden Serum. This 100% organic serum is a sophisticated blend of organic plants and gentle oils, like organic almond seed, organic sesame seed oil, organic calendula, and many other organic plants and essential oils designed to target the signs of aging, along with a highly concentrated blend of organic plant stem cells from widely studied, clinically proven arnica plant. When you have the right type of plant stem cells, they can help boost your skin cells to reduce the appearance of deep wrinkles, fine lines, age spots, and even skin discoloration on both the face and all over the body.
Chaga and Gano are medicinal mushrooms. They've been used in traditional Chinese and Japanese and Korean medicine for thousands of years. The Canadians and the Russians, they especially use the chaga in their medicine for cancer. Chaga and Gano are what scientists call adaptogenic herbs. Adaptogenic herbs are anything God has created that when you put it in your body, it does more than one thing. Whatever's too high in the body, pressure, cholesterol, sugar, your immune system is going to bring it down to where it needs to be. And whatever's too low is going to bring it up to where it needs to be. Chaga and Gano literally creates balance in the body. They clean and nourish the blood. They eliminate parasites out of the body. They help with vision, memory, and concentration issues. We have lots of people Chaga and Gano helps to sleep. If you have issues and you get up in the morning and you're always tired, Chaga and Gano will give you energy on a daily basis. If you're constipated, you'll get cleared up. If you have circulation issues, we've seen persons with respiratory issues healed. We've seen persons with tumors healed. Open wounds that have been open for months at a time. Chargangano has closed. Chargangano again creates balance in the body. It acts as a tonic for the organs, the liver, the kidney, the nervous system, the heart, keeps the walls of the arteries clean. Chargangano is very much like a one-stop shop for the body. We've had persons with arthritis pain and inflammation tell me they don't have those pains anymore. They're walking when they couldn't walk, now they go for walks, all using the chaga and the gano.
From my kitchen to yours, welcome to the new taste of sea moss gel. Create creamy milkshakes and superfood fortified weight loss green smoothies. 3 truly delicious flavors: Mint Majesty, Spice Fusion, and our summer flavor, Mango Splash. You're going to love the new taste of sea moss gel. Available at Shea King's Eat Emotionally Well in Nassau, Freeport, Andros, and Exuma. Welcome back to Menopause the Dialogue.
We're happy you're here.
Yes, we are. If this is your first time joining us, we want to say welcome. And so Menopause the Dialogue, it is a show that Patrice and I started, and it is a year-long dialogue. And the whole purpose behind this show is to continue to, first of all, educate you, empower you, and give you those tools so you can literally take charge of this journey and this experience. And when we look at menopause, you know, Patrice and I are saying menopause, but there is pre-menopause, which we refer to as perimenopause.
Yes.
And it's slightly different when you talk about that experience and what actually happens. So perimenopause is when you actually start to experience some of the symptoms because of the decline in your estrogen levels,
Yes.
the hormonal levels, but you are still having a menstrual cycle.
Yes.
And so that is referred to as perimenopause. So it's safe to say that Patrice is perimenopause. And then if a year or longer goes by and you do not see a menstrual cycle, but you still have those symptoms that are associated with menopause, it is safe to say that you are in menopause. And Patrice can point at me now because I'm in menopause. So Patrice can get pregnant and I can't. It's safe to say that.
Can you imagine?
I know, right?
That's
another show.
Thought.
That's a whole other show. So if you're joining us for the first time, if you are perimenopausal or menopause, go ahead and put something in the comment section below. Patrice and I are also looking that if you may decide that you want a topic for us to talk about, because this is a year-long dialogue, go ahead and put it in the comment section and let us know, because we are here to share our experience. We want to hear your experience because we want this to be a dialogue, because the whole idea and purpose behind this show is to empower you, to give you that take charge of this experience, because I promise you the experience could be very beautiful.
Well, okay, she said the experience could be beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, my experience has been quite interesting. Anything but
Interesting,
beautiful. But beautiful. But anyhow. But one of the things also with this menopausal journey is to remember is that as women, we come to this earth with a certain amount of eggs, like eggs in our basket. And I understand it's about a 33-year span. We use up the eggs. And during the perimenopausal phase, which is about 10 years between 8 to 10 years before we actually go into menopause, we start using the last of our eggs as women.
Praise his name.
Talking about children. And the journey can be quite interesting. And let me just share a part of something that just happened to me recently. I have been seeing my menstruation from about August of last year. And so, you know, I've been celebrating. But guess what happened right after our last show? My menstruation came down. I was
Let us pray.
You know, I am so, the one thing, and you say it's beautiful.
I know.
The one thing about this menopausal journey is that it has its own mind.
Yeah.
And I was hoping after all of these months, because I've had the times where for about 3 months
it was for you?
August, September, October, November, December, January, 6 months.
Okay, so 6 months. You have
You know what it is to go there and know you have to start over?
Yeah, I know. You was
months.
asking the question? Yeah, I know.
And the thing is, we had a show before where a lady talked about her experience. And
Yes.
she said about 8 months and it
Right.
started. And I felt so bad for her.
Yeah, but you
And
know
what
what
happened to me?
It's almost, I think all of us going through this journey can speak to going that 6, 7, 8 months and then all of a sudden, it shows up. I think that is a part. It's like it's testing. It's giving you a little bit and it's letting you know, hold on, you're gonna stop, and then all of a sudden it
just a little bit
away.
more left.
And so I think we all had that
And
6, 8 months.
The good thing about my last menstruation was that it was exceptionally light.
Yeah, right.
So it gave me a little more hope because the other ones before were erratic.
So let me say this. I'm glad you say that.
16 days, 15 days, then shorter.
So you had, you're talking about the longer days and then shorter,
Then
like
yeah.
light, meaning shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
But
thought you
this
were talking
last
about
one,
the
like
flow.
I said, was just light, completely light.
The
It was
flow?
about, yes. It was
yeah.
about, I saw it for about 5 days, but very light. And that offered me hope. It was like, okay, I must not have any eggs left. Or I must be on the last one.
So what I'm hearing is because the flow was really light,
Yeah.
you were just in your head,
Yes.
counting the eggs leaving the
The
basket.
story I told myself
That's
was
fine.
this has to be the last egg.
See why, sisters, you have to share? Because let me tell you something. If you're out there and you're like Patrice and you're counting these eggs down, and you're thinking, listen, I got a couple more eggs left. But I can also tell you too, Patrice and I think this was, 2 years now, but Patrice, when you were talking about the heavy flow, the menstrual heavy flow, and I introduced Patrice again to organic sanitary napkins. Remember that?
Those days?
Yes.
I remember, yes.
You want to tell the audience a little bit about that experience when you talked about the smell?
Yes. In fact, it's been a good years now. But one of the things that I did during my menopausal journey or perimenopausal journey was that I switched paths. When I understood that a lot of the pads are filled with toxins and chemicals, and that the vagina area is the most porous. The skin is very porous. So that was a real thing for me. Then my personal experience was that I recognized that the odor was 100% different using organic pads versus the ordinary pad. That was crazy for me. You have to experience that for yourself. Then the other thing I noticed was the color.
Yeah, the color of the blood.
Yeah, and then you wonder if it's just you. Why is this? But I see there are a number of women. I found that there are a number of women who are saying the very same thing. And then, now I didn't recognize this. Some women say that their periods are shorter.
Yes, they're experiencing short. Now the thing is, Patrice, I can tell you for me personally, I didn't necessarily have too many recognizing the differences because I started using organic sanitary napkins a really long time. I want to say about 15 years ago. But based on a lot of my clients and persons I have experience with, they talk about it. And one of the things that they talk about is a shorter flow, one. And when you're going through that perimenopausal stage, some women have, extremely long period flows. Sometimes they can go 20, even 30 days.
That is real.
Yes. And that is normal and a part of the perimenopausal journey. And so one of the things I can tell you is if you're using organic sanitary napkins, that flow will be shorter. And even if it's long, the flow will be more controlled. And so Patrice definitely got to experience that. And a lot of persons, I even want to encourage you, if you are listening to Patrice and I right now, and you in that time right now where you're having extremely long and heavy menstrual cycles, you maybe want to try an organic sanitary napkin, make the switch and see the difference.
Yes. We want to encourage you that it's 100% cotton. I want to say that. That's what I just now I was trying to pull out of my mind. Yeah, because
that's important.
that is important. I personally did a research to check the difference, and it's amazing the difference with organic paths.
Yeah, it's a difference. It's a difference in a couple of things. It's a difference in the odor. It's a difference in the blood flow, what the blood actually looks like and smell like. And when you talk about lighter, and in addition to that, sometimes women who
going into our body,
and also too, women don't experience as much cramping because you don't have the toxins going into the body, as well as even the irritation.
Yes,
yes,
a lot of women have skin irritation. Yes.
So it's cotton, it's not that dry weave, it's not those other materials, the synthetic materials. So even in this particular instance, this is actually a good time to make the switch and go to organic sanitary napkins if you are going through perimenopause and experiencing very long and high periods. So we have anything else in our fishbowl, Patrice?
Make the switch. Make the switch.
Are you a mature woman? Do you think you could be perimenopausal and experiencing so many changes on your period, like longer cycles, heavier bleeding, vaginal dryness, and even a strange odor at times? Well, we're asking you to make the switch and experience the difference with our 100% organic sanitary napkins with ultra soft cotton surfaces that is toxic free, fragrance free, bleach free, and eliminate odors. Experience your period in a whole new all natural comfort. So if you are a mature woman and could be starting perimenopause, make the switch and your body will thank you. Period.
Welcome back. One of the gifts of the menopausal journey, and let me tell you, there are a lot of bonuses being menopausal and perimenopausal. And one of them I will take out of our fishbowl.
Yes.
Is hormonal acne.
Mm.
How many of you know what I'm talking
Raise your
about?
hand. Put something in the chat right now. This is a good time, you know. And before Patrice, I know you're ready to just lay it right out there. But you know something? There is nothing like when you are never experienced acne. Skin was always smooth, but then all of a sudden,
It's like it's not fair.
when you're almost 50,
Almost.
yeah, I'm just saying, you know,
Okay.
for some women, you know, I know you over the hill over 50.
No, I
but I'm
didn't
just
say
saying,
that.
I'm just saying, when you're almost 50 for the sake of the show, you know. Acne, Patrice, tell them, because, you know, I don't have that problem. You know, I show it off at the moment.
Some of us,
even though I have pain in my back.
The three things that of late have been very prominent for me in this journey. One, like I said, has been the dizziness. The next thing has been acne. These past few years, each time I'm about to have a period, I would have one acne that would show up on my right side of the face. Just one. All of a sudden, my face is now filled, I've got acne showing up on my face. I was sharing with Shane and our producer earlier that I burst a bump on my face for the first time in my life. And I grossed out myself. I will be honest about that.
Yeah, I even see the hair. What I refer to folliculitis barbae. That's it.
Whatever that is. That's menopause. And you know what?
So do they hurt?
No, they didn't. They don't hurt. They're just uncomfortable. They're ugly.
Yeah.
And they're emotionally scarring. Can I tell you?
Yeah, because we're trying to work on our lines and stuff and all, not our lines, but the lines.
You know, during this time in your life, you know, you have to accept the fact that you are getting older. Mm-hmm. As we are getting older, because the collagen in our skin is diminishing, I mean, like it or not, you know, we're fighting those lines that are not our friends.
I don't want to fight them though. I don't want to fight them.
I annihilate them.
Yeah.
I make sure they never come around.
I know.
I am a good boxer.
Hey, let's box.
Oh, we got
Boom,
to
boom. Box them out.
we know how to, We know the jab and hook,
Yeah,
right?
we know, right?
Call our coach.
Hi, coach.
And what I found was that for some reason they have been coming out a lot now. And also, I've been craving again sweets. So what I'm recognizing is right now, while these are coming out, even though I'm not menstruating, this is the time that I would normally be ovulating or whatever's going on in my body. So I recognize that my body is making the switch.
Yes, it is. And you know, Patrice, I'm glad you said that too, because for me, even though my cycle has stopped, so I am what you call full-blown menopause, my body I still recognize my cravings. Yes, like when I want to eat a pound of chocolate, you know.
Yeah, and I hope you have something sweet after we finish.
I do. Yeah, and so as a matter of fact, our producer asked me for coffee. I told her I can make some chocolate coffee. You know, a girl can hook us
And
up.
I want a whole chocolate something.
This is what happens when you are perimenopause.
It gets
menopause.
bad.
Yeah. It doesn't get bad. It just gets interesting. That's your word. We're not going to use words like bad and stuff because
it
the
just
thing
gets
is,
interesting.
yeah, because the thing is, we know, and you know, for the sister who would talk about, you know, she rebuked that. This is what we say, you know, don't rebuke it because this is a part of the journey. But one of the things we can tell you is, as we experience all of these symptoms, when we talk about it, we don't we don't say my menopause, we say the menopause.
Yes.
You know, we don't necessarily claim it.
Yes.
And we talk about the symptoms because the fact is, once we continue to get the tools and educate ourselves and share what we've done as sisters to help us to ease the journey, it's going to be easier for a lot of us. But I know there was a time, Patrice, because I grew up with my grandmother, and there was a time, listen, you used to only like kind of had a conversation, child, she changed your life. And you'd be like, what that is? Child, you're too young to know that. And so Patrice and I, we're on a quest. We want to talk about the things that people don't normally talk about. We want to talk about sometimes women, we experience even like a body odor sometimes when we're going through that change, and it is normal. Even men have the same symptoms. You know, for men who just want to just buy a sports car or quit their jobs. Yeah, we can talk about
colorful clothes.
Yeah, and spandex. What do you call them? Spandex. Yeah, guys will wear it too. And so it ain't just the women.
It's real.
It is
the
real.
changes in life is real, and the more we embrace it,
Yes.
and the more we decide that it's not a secret,
Right.
then the better we handle it. Because when one of the things, and I will constantly say this, Shay has been a sister for me in this journey. And had it not been for Shay, God help a lot of things. Because again, not are you dealing with the physical aspect,
Right.
but the emotional aspect
Listen.
of what is going on is real.
It is so
And
real.
if you don't have a sister to keep you balanced.
Yeah.
I was going to the doctor the other day because at that point I was dealing with it, but I got scared because it's like, okay, this isn't changing, this isn't getting better, and you know.
She just want to make sure she wasn't dying. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
you
all it was. Y'all know the first thing we think about is dad changing the will, what I want me to do with our children. I mean, we know it's scary, but Patrice is right. You know, you have to have a sister in your corner to share that emotional experience with, because it is real. These symptoms are real, and we want this dialogue to really become like the conversation in the home. We want it to become the conversation with among women, in the Lewis and Staines. We want the conversation to come with your young adult daughters. We want it to be a conversation because women are going through it, and the fact is sometimes women are not talking about it, but they're living in fear. I remember my nail technician, this was years ago, she talked about a symptom, and at that time I kind of knew what it was. But because the only time I had an opportunity to speak with her was always in the salon, I didn't really go into it, but I knew what it was because when she kept saying, I can't explain how I feel and I can't explain it, that's usually how it happens. It's like this weird symptom.
It's new.
It's right.
It's
and
new.
it doesn't look
something new.
Right. And it doesn't look like anything familiar. I remember my mom saying, this is an exact word. Mom, if you're listening, I'm shouting out to you, I love you, Mommy. I remember my mom saying, she said, my head feel like she would constantly say, feel like it want to explode. It feels like, and this was just her way of saying she was dizzy. Her equilibrium was off. She was she had an imbalance. When she stood up, she felt like she wanted to topple over. And in addition to that, this is my mom, right? So, and she has grandchildren, and then she was talking about nausea. I was like, Mommy, wait, you ain't pregnant, eh? The first thing I was thinking, like, Mom,
you know, why do we do that?
I know, right?
That nausea, and for me, it's like,
associated,
okay, yeah,
right?
you know, I'm good. You know, but you're good.
So you don't even want to tell people that you're experiencing that
because
symptom.
you know they associate it
with.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I had a client call me, and she was talking to me a little bit about her hormonal changes, and I started to help her. But one of the first things she said to me was, Shay,
I'm not pregnant.
I'm not pregnant. I don't want to know this information. It's like immediately she had to do a disclaimer. And I think we do that because we feel like we're going to be ostracized and judged.
Lack of understanding,
and because,
yes.
it's lack of understanding. And so we can't empathize because we really don't.
We don't understand. And
Yeah.
I want to share a story, a 2-minute story.
2 minutes?
Listen.
Hurry, because I'm about to have a hot flash, and the producer got to put something over the screen.
And you can witness
y'all
it
is not
live.
gonna see me
And let me
sweat.
tell you something. She does it live. She will start sweating and pouring, and you would want
Listen.
to wonder how is that happening.
Producer,
she does
while
that.
Patrice shared the story, you put that brand over that with the pads. You put it right up there.
because
Go ahead, Patrice. You share your story, honey.
I had an experience the other day. I have been sharing Menopause the Dialogue with an individual, and I know she's menopausal, perimenopausal. So I'm saying to her, watch them, join us each week, each time we do Menopause the Dialogue. And she would not. She did once. And so I saw her, and she starts telling me about all of these things that she's afraid now is now happening to her. And I'm listening to her, I'm like, all of those are you're going through perimenopause. You're in your perimenopausal stage. I've asked you to watch the video, and it will help you. And here's what that story reminded me of. Jesus talked about the parable about the seed, how the seed falls on. And I'm laughing at Shay because she really did have a moment. She really did go.
Patrice, why you put me out there like that, though? I was just pretending. Hopefully, why you put me out there like that, though? And you're brilliant. You know what?
That was
I can
funny.
deal with you. Don't forget now. You want me to make something for you after the show. So
Oh yeah, you're my best friend.
okay.
That's
So
fine.
I didn't really have a moment, you know. I didn't really have a moment. Let me just fix my hair. And so the thing is, while we are talking about this experience, I just want you to know that I just didn't want y'all to see me sweat. You don't never seen a commercial? Don't never let them see you sweat. But I did have, I really did. Yeah. So finish your story, Patrice.
Yes, I just want to say, women, let the seed of what we are saying fall on good ground. Watch our previous videos, share them. Women need the support. And the way we support each other is videos like this. Menopause the Dialogue. Watch it, share it. So many women are dealing with it. They are afraid, they don't know what to do, they're going to doctors, etc. When if they understand it's a natural part of their journey, and they link arms with other sisters who are going through the journey, it makes it that much easier when we can share our experiences, share what we do and what we do and didn't do. Then it does make a difference.
Yeah.
Let's link arms, and again, share the video, watch them, and make sure tell a sister about it.
Yeah, I love that, Patrice.
Yes, I had to say that because
Yeah.
when I had the experience, it was so amazing to me. And Shay, before we're winding down, and we've got one more theme in the fishbowl,
Okay.
and it's spots.
Yeah, spots.
Spots. Listen here, this is one of my new recent stuff that's been coming on.
Spots.
Yeah, one of the things for me, Shay, God has blessed me from youth that I didn't have to deal with acne or
you have
any
really good
issues
skin,
with
yeah.
skin. I really have not until now.
Yeah.
And
Like why? Why God?
it's like,
You know what God, let me tell you what God would say. I'm going to be God about it.
Okay,
So you
okay.
ask me why.
like why God?
think about it.
What?
For 49 years, you didn't have acne. And now you have it. What if we had switched the roles and I'd given you acne for 49 years?
Lord, I repent.
Okay, there you go.
I repent. And with a grateful heart.
There you go.
I say thank
and that's
you.
what we talk about, not giving energy to the symptoms. And Patrice is right. When I met her, I remember the first thing I said to you, I said, I love, you remember that? I said, I love your skin.
Yeah, and all of my life, people have talked about my skin.
Your skin.
So I've gotten used to it. So
but you realize you still have beautiful skin with acne. You realize that, right?
God bless you. God bless her cotton picking socks.
You still have beautiful skin. You just have a few, acne there.
Yeah, and you can see it.
Yeah. You can see it. So let's talk about spots. Yeah, spots.
That is another issue that has been new to me. The first spot that has showed up was a couple of months ago. Actually, the last show. Because when I had it on this side of my face, and I remember, oh my God, what's going on? This big dark spot, but I covered it up. The new stuff just takes you by surprise.
Yeah, just cover that up.
And a couple of weeks ago, it disappeared. And I had 2 other spots. I woke up one morning, one here, and a huge one here. And I'm like, what is going on in my body?
I know, right?
And, I did some research about that as well, and understanding, again, it's our hormones doing what it's doing, our estrogen level on the decline, and then when I understand that when the testosterone is just, the testosterone remains the same, one of the things that happens is our pores expand, so it fills with oil, so the pimples, I mean, they're just a myriad of symptoms. But like you said, Shay, you gave me a new paradigm shift.
You ready for me
to
tell
know
you
what?
mine? My spot?
Shay, where are your spots?
In my back.
Oh, wow.
At the beginning of the show, I talked about heat and pain in my back. And the pain is like a dull type of mild pain. It's not really pain that I can't do anything, but I don't give any energy to it. But you can tell it's heat, it's inflammation. But in addition to that, I have a spot in my back that looks like a round circle. And I want to be honest with you, I want to be completely transparent. I thought, wait, something going on with my liver? And I want you to know I did go to the doctor. I did every test known to man. Because I understand what a CBC could look like. That's a complete blood count. And I did all the blood work, and to my pleasant surprise, my doctor said, my goodness, Shay, you are in such good shape. And so I gave God praise. The symptoms didn't go away, but at least I was able to connect that this was all a part
mentally.
All a part of perimenopause. And so what it looks like is, in that menopausal journey, it's referred to as easy, like bruising very easily. And you find yourself getting these dark patches on your skin. And so, because the skin is associated with the liver, I immediately tell I got to do a complete liver profile. I even do pap smear. Like, what pap smear to do with?
You try to mop up everything.
Listen, I dot my I, cross the T. It's like that emotional side. You want to go. And so Patrice and I, we're saying, we said it earlier, we're not telling you not to go to your doctor. What we're telling you is, the more you share your experience and recognize other women your age are dealing with the same symptoms, it'll kind of get you to connect the dot. Wait a minute, we all are experiencing similar things.
Yes.
We all are at the same age. Bingo, the light. Perimenopause, you're beginning that journey. And like we said earlier, perimenopause is just the difference between having the symptoms with your cycle, still seeing your menstrual cycle, and menopause, having the symptoms and not seeing the actual menstrual cycle for a year or more. So, man, we got to continue to share, Patrice, because this is so real. I got my spot, you got your spot. Patrice had one here on her face. My spot was on my knee and on my back, right? So the ones on my knee went away. And Patrice, let me tell you what's funny, right? I went on one of my eating protocols. I'm doing a challenge right now, right?
I need to join.
I know, right?
Whatever it is, after
like
we
bust
eat
the
the
fat out,
chocolate.
right? I know, right? I can do it.
After.
But I immediately watched the mark on my knee. It went away, and so the one on my back, it took longer. So even I went to a dermatologist just to kind of see, and she gave me this cream, and I took the cream, and I want to be honest with you, I was like, Shay, why you take this cream? Because this you have nothing to do with it. You just need to say what is happening with you. So I decided, let me put the cream on twice, so when she asked me, I could say, yes, I'm using it.
I hope she's not watching.
We ain't lying, we just saying, But the cream didn't do anything because really it had nothing to do with any skin.
It's hormonal.
Right, it's hormonal. And so when you recognize, when we talk about the symptoms, in this year-long dialogue, we're going to continue to talk about the symptoms because these symptoms are so real, but we just want you to know as a part of this journey that the symptoms doesn't stop with hot flashes and night sweats. They go on and on. And Patrice, let's kind of list some of them symptoms right now. I mean, there's so many of them. Plus, in addition to these symptoms, what I'm discovering is some of these symptoms I myself didn't recognize until very recently that it was associated with perimenopause.
With me.
Yes.
The same here with me. I have just been tying certain things.
Connecting those dots.
And it's a pity.
Yeah.
Because I think about the times I spent worrying.
Right, I know.
I went to the doctor.
I wasted chocolate squashy ball. A party.
But when you don't know,
right.
and see, knowledge is key. Again, knowledge is key. And ladies, we're providing this information to you free of charge.
Yeah.
Free of charge. Take advantage of it. Don't let the seeds that we're sowing into your life fall on bad ground. Let it fall in good soil. Use it. It could make life easier for you and another sister.
Yeah. So guess what? Let me tell you what happened to me, right? This is the symptoms that is associated with perimenopause. How about I start losing my eyebrow hair? Like, now, let me tell you the funny thing. My hair is growing so beautifully. But every other place on my body with this hair, it is on the other side of town. I don't even have to shave no more. Like, the hair is just gone, right?
Wow.
My producer in the back like this, ha, ha, ha. Like, listen, first of all, I don't even know how to draw my eyebrow. I'm just learning it, thanks to my daughter, Caitlin. But first, only the left eye, the hair started falling out. I was like, wait, I was like, I thought it was when I went to the lady to do my makeup, she must have shaved me, right?
So you're blaming her?
I was blaming her. Then all of a sudden, the right side was like, I'm losing my... And so I called Mom, and she said, what do you want to know? I said, did you lose your hair and your eyebrow? She didn't, so I couldn't find anyone until the last show. How would I look up at Patrice's eyebrow? I was like, Patrice. Then how about she started rebuking me?
Talking my story, I wasn't going to say anything.
I know, no. You just keep stuff
I
in.
still, yeah. I go, you know what I do?
Acceptance.
Yeah, I have an issue when these things start with me. And here's the crazy thing. I'm telling you, it's crazy how this happens. I remember just before Shay was talking about her losing her eyebrow, I was looking in the mirror and putting on eyeliner. I'm like, my eyebrows look a little thin, especially up in here. But it just passed. It was a passing thought. But every time, I put on, it doesn't normally look like that.
Right.
Then how about I come here and Shay say that? And do you know what? I didn't say a word to Shay.
No, she didn't.
No, I refuse. I have rejected so much stuff
Rebuke
initially.
and pull down. Listen to me. Oh.
And you know how Shay knew? One day, this is after I came here, no makeup on, and she was looking at my eyebrows.
Yep, you're losing your eyebrow.
I'm like, no.
She didn't say. I was like, girl, welcome to the club. And guess what? Another symptom too, right? Losing the eyebrow. But
the hair loss.
Oh yeah, the hair loss. Yeah, hair loss.
For some women, it's
right.
the hair.
But see, the hair loss can be different places because my natural hair is actually growing.
Wow.
But I'm losing hair on my, so for women, what we're saying is your hair loss could be like anywhere. I mean, if it's under the armpit, then you fortunately, because you don't really need that.
Then maybe I need to pray. Can I?
I know, right?
Can I please?
The journey is
no
real.
more shaving
I know.
the arms.
I know, right? Like, woo! And the legs, if you loosen it there. So another, I know, right? So another one of those symptoms is you have, well, we talked about palpitations, but you actually have a moment where like the anxiety just comes on, like first, like, have you ever seen perimenopausal women driving? Listen to me. This is a whole new experience. They fuss everyone in the streets. They fuss the other drivers. They talk about it. I mean, it's a whole nother experience, and all of a sudden they just withdraw. Listen, I'm going to say, empathize with these people. They're just having an experience. It's like an anxiety come on while you're driving. Now, fortunately for me, I don't have it, but I'm always happen to be in the car with someone who has it. So I experience it. All of a sudden they're driving and they want to just cuss out everybody on the road and just talk, like, you know, and giving them instructions while the driver is actually way in the front of them. And so sometimes this is what happens. You just have this moment of, like, you just feel full of anxiety, but it lasts very short and then it goes away.
I don't think I experienced that. I hear a lot of women say that. I know for me when I began, mine was stress initially.
So what did your stress look like on, like, how did it look symptomatic?
I put on weight. I was putting on weight. I couldn't sleep.
So that's what you mean when you called and you said you gained all that weight in that 1 week.
Yes. And even before that, because this journey has been a couple good years.
Yeah. Wow.
And it wasn't until I got to the place of understanding that I recognized, oh, this is menopause, my menopausal journey. And so that has been a big difference. But stress, I remember stress. And I remember, I think, taking on stuff. I don't know if you call it anxiety, but I remember I was worried about something I shouldn't be worried about constantly. And then I know also one of the things that's not talked about a lot is women with their thyroid.
Yes.
I was able, when I saw that start happening, you know, I'm going to tell you the truth now. When you start messing with the way I look, now I put on my boxing gloves and I promise you, I am going to win. You mess with my looks, you mess with how I feel about myself, you mess with my self-confidence. I did not say that. Okay. But if you mess with, I'm going to fight back. And so when I recognized the growth, I did every bit of research and I was able to help myself. And simple remedies, and we'll talk about this in another show, but there are remedies, there are things you can do to help yourself. We are not just victims. Yes, we have to deal with the menopausal journey. It is real. The hormones do their deep dive, and we have to deal with it. But there are things that we can do to help ourselves physically. There are things we can do to help ourselves mentally and emotionally to deal with it. And there are things, most importantly, spiritually. Because our spiritual part of us is the highest level of who we are. And when that is intact and in tune, then it helps us to make the journey that much more easier, the right attitude. You saw what Shay said to me earlier about how you see it, the energy you release. And when we include God in this, because He's the author of these bodies. And so He can help us maneuver
Give us everything we need.
Yes.
That's what God is all about.
And you've said many times He's helped you, He's talked with you.
Please just give me the guidance, let me know what I'm feeling like, and let me know, girl, you ain't dying yet. You got the whole year for Menopause the Dialogue. And listen, on that note, we want to say to you, if you are a business owner, a sister, an entrepreneur, and you want to partner with us for Menopause the Dialogue, that's what we're asking you to do, to partner with us on this journey, because this is an important journey, and it's a year-long journey. Patrice and I are going on, and it's important. So if you have a service or a product that you know that a system may need, we're asking you to partner with us. Our numbers are on the screen. You can definitely give us a call after the show. We are inviting you to partner with us to be a part of this global message, because Patrice and I are going to spend 1 year dialoguing with you, the audience. And as this show continues, we will dive in deeper and deeper into more topics that affects the entire family. Men, yes, we're going to talk about andropause, and we'll continue the journey to let you know that even in this process, we're going to hold your hand through it. We're going to support. And for us, this is why Sister Share is a part of our hashtag and what we do. And so, Patrice, you got any last words?
Again, I want to remind everybody, we live stream the second and the fourth Monday of each month. So we're inviting you to join us the last Monday of this month, which is March.
Well, actually, the last Monday? No, because I think it has 3 Mondays. I think it's the 22nd.
The 22nd.
And I think there's a Monday after that. So it's actually, because this has 5 Mondays in this month. This is March.
Okay.
So it's actually the fourth Monday. No, it's the fourth Monday, which is the 22nd. Because the last Monday is the 28th, I think it is. Yeah,
okay.
Lisa could double check. But I think it's the 22nd.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have a week break.
Mondays. Okay.
And then it'll be on the 22nd.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we're looking forward to having you join us. We're looking forward to you sharing the video. We're looking forward to holding hands and creating a tribe of women who are helping each other. And remember, this is International Women's Day, which is such a reminder that as women, we ought to be linking up and making strides together, not against each other, but together.
Yes.
Together we stand, but divided we will fall.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this live stream of Menopause the Dialogue. And do not forget, Sisters Share. We'll see you again next time, 6 o'clock sharp, and that's Monday the 22nd of this month. Again, happy International Women's Day.
God bless you all.
Bye-bye.